So what's the meaning of life? Why are we here? What are we supposed to do? We're here for a reason, and it's not what you probably think it is. If you ask me, the reason that we're here is to teach, is to learn, is to experience things and to share those things. If you learn something, if you experience something and you come out of that on the other side of it better than you were before or worse than you were before, in your own mind, that is, and you don't share that, if you don't extend that information to somebody else, it dies right there. That lesson never gets learned again. That experience is never shared again if you don't offer it to someone else. That's what you're supposed to do. If you learn something, teach it to someone else. Everybody can benefit from it. If I learn something today, and at the same exact time in a different place, you learn that same thing, we're both going to receive that in a different way. It's going to land on our minds and affect our lives differently from one person to the next. So if you and I sat down in the same room and we're taught the same thing, we're both going to receive it differently. No two people are going to receive information the same exact way. It's not that simple. It doesn't happen just like that. So we're taught the same thing and we each take two different things out of it. We need to share that. We need to extend that to people. Otherwise, what's the point of learning? What's the point of having an experience if you're not going to share it with someone else, whether it be good or bad? If you have a good experience, right, and you come out better, if you hit the other side of that and you're a better person for it, share that with somebody else, because maybe they'll become a better person for it as well. If it brings you down, if you have a negative experience and it pushes you back a step in life, or it makes you feel uncomfortable, or it affects you with negative emotion or negative results or anything like that, learn from that and then teach that to somebody else. Take your negative experience and turn it into a positive one for somebody else. That's how we become better people. And here's the thing. We're just having one of many experiences as human beings this time around. We're going to come back. Learn as much as you can while you're here. Teach as much as you can while you're here. And pass that information on. That's how we're going to become better. And as far as mistakes and regrets, they don't exist. There are no mistakes. There are only lessons. There are no regrets. There are just lessons not learned. Right? So if there's no regrets and there's no mistakes, let's say a regret is a mistake that you haven't learned from. That is when a mistake exists, if you haven't learned from it. If you ask me, a regret is a mistake that you haven't learned from. But since there are no mistakes, you must always learn, always remain teachable. We are spirits having a human experience this time. There will be more. Death is not the end, it is only the beginning. We need to embrace the time that we're here. We need to share everything we can with everyone else. That, in my opinion, is the meaning of life. To experience things, to learn things, and to share those experiences, and to share those lessons, whether they be negative or positive, because even if it's a negative thing for you, it can become a positive thing for somebody else. The awareness that you will give to other people will help them along their way. You may not even know it. You may think it to be really, just not relevant to anything. It may be very inconsequential to you, but it might save somebody else's life one day. Pass that on. Teach these things. Learn things. Teach things. That's what needs to be done. Anything that can be used as an excuse can be used as motivation. You don't want to do this one day because the last time someone else did it, it turned out poorly. Well, be motivated to have it come out differently for you. Let it work in your favor. There's a way to go about things so that you don't have to be negative. And it's not easy. It's not something where, following these guidelines isn't a way for you to never have a bad day. But when you do have a bad day, find the positive things in that. Remember that not everything is bad all the time. Even when you're having a really bad day, there is a lesson to be learned. There's something positive to be taken from that. And it's not easy to see these things all the time. Sometimes it's really rather difficult, and I fall short here too. I'll let really little, simple things get me down and keep me down for extended periods of time when they really shouldn't. And sometimes it's hard to overcome these things, but you got to keep going forward. Things will change. It's not an obligatory thing. It's not, it's not an obligatory existence. There are certain things that are obvious that some people will use, I don't want to say to their advantage, but it'll be used to maybe make themselves appear like they're a good person or appear like they're, of a progressive thought process. And the first thing that comes to mind is all these stupid fucking hashtags. Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, Pet Lives Matter, All Lives Matter. Let me tell you something. No shit. It's not a secret that every life matters. Fuck all that black lives and blue lives and all lives. No kidding. You don't become a good person. You don't become a person with character because you post a new Facebook status or a new Instagram post with the fucking hashtag All Lives Matter or the hashtag Black Lives Matter. That doesn't make you seem progressive. It makes you seem foolish. That's an obvious thing. We don't need to advertise it. There's such a thing called integrity. And, to post something like Black Lives Matter or All Lives Matter or Blue Lives Matter, Pet Lives Matter, no fucking kidding. You shouldn't need to advertise that on social media so that people see. You should just act this way. This is just a way to be a human being with a sense of decency, with a sense of integrity. That's attention seeking. That's reaching. It's you're just grabbing at something because you want people to say, "Oh, I give a shit." She must care because she said all lives matter, or he must care because he said Black Lives Matter. Stop it! It's fucking stupid. There's no reason for it. These are things that you should just think. You shouldn't have to advertise them. You shouldn't have to show them off to people. Just do it. Treat all lives with the same respect, with the same regard. You don't need to hashtag it and advertise it on Facebook so people think that you have character. You can build character by actually fucking doing something to help people. You see somebody who needs help, give it to them. If you don't have the means to help the person the way they need help, or the way that you suppose that they need to be helped, help them how you can. Because no matter what, you've done something kind. You've done something nice. You can't help everybody, and you don't have to. Instead of one person helping everyone who needs help, how about everybody helps one person? Something small. Could be anything. It's raining and there's somebody at the bus stop and the bus is late or something like that, and you're going the direction they're going. Hey, could I give you a ride? And you know what? That might not work. They might not want it because of the whole stranger danger thing. But, offer it. Help it. You've still done something nice. It doesn't matter how the person on the other end of that receives it. You've tried to be nice. You've tried to be kind. Help people. Teach people. Learn. Don't expect anything in return. Do it just because it's the right fucking thing to do. Don't expect a thank you. Just do it. These are the kind of things that will make us better as a society. By not expecting something in return for doing a kind act or helping someone if you have the means to, just because it's the nice thing to do. Without expecting a thank you or without expecting payment of some sort, some type of compensation. If everybody can just act this way, just a little bit of the time, I think we would all get along much better. I think there would be less turmoil. There would be less fighting and arguing and division between races and divisions between religion. There's thousands of religions. And let me tell you something. There's thousands of religions and tens of thousands of different gods and deities that people pray to. But when you pray, all those intentions go to the same place. It doesn't matter what category you fall into, what religion you claim to be a part of, what God you say you're praying to. It all goes to the same place. Call it whatever you want. All those intentions are received the same way, in the same place, and it all comes back in the form of energy. Create positive energy, and positive energy will manifest itself around you. Create negative energy, and negative energy will manifest itself around you. You need to be aware of how you're treating other people, how you're presented. You know, if you could be in a room full of 20 people, and you could be the only one there in a pissy mood, the only one there that brings negative energy in, and everybody's going to feel that. You'll bring an entire room down by yourself. How is that fair to everybody else? Let the positivity rub off on you. Don't project your negativity elsewhere. Remain positive. Remain hopeful. These are good things. So, the meaning of life. Remain teachable and learn. Pass those lessons on. There are no mistakes. There are no regrets. Let's try to be nicer to each other. Let's try to pass things on so that the generations that we have growing up now aren't completely fucked. You know, everywhere I go, there could be 10 people sitting in a room. Nobody's talking. Everybody's glued to their phone. Everybody. You know, and I seen it. You know, I worked in a different building a couple days this week than I usually work in, and I went to lunch in the cafeteria of this other building, and I didn't really know anybody there. And I walked in, and I said, "Hey, what's up?" You know, to everybody. It was kind of like a general greeting. "Hey, how you guys doing?" I walked in and I sat down. Everybody kind of looked up and gave me like a grunt. You know, that was their response to, "Hey, how you guys doing?" And right back to their phones. Some of them had headphones in. They're on their lunch break. It's a half an hour lunch. You know, they're going to spend that entire half an hour glued to their phone. What is so important that you can't have a conversation with somebody? You might fucking learn something. Everybody's concerned about what's going on. They don't want to miss anything. Let me tell you, there's nothing that exciting happening. Everybody's worried about that. Everybody's worried about money. Possessions, material things. Money isn't real. It doesn't mean a thing. Unfortunately, you need it for some things, but it's not real. When your time here is up, you're not taking your bank account with you. You're not taking your car with you. You're not taking your house with you. You're taking yourself. None of that stuff is going to be here. We're not here to gather all these material things and these earthly possessions. They mean nothing. Let it go. Live a simple life. You don't need all that. You might think you do, but you don't. Just be kind to each other. Share the message. Share the hope. Share the positivity. Wash all that negative shit out. You don't need it. Pay more attention to what's going on around you. Rather than taking your lunch and having your eyes and your attention focused on your phone or your tablet or, you know, what this person ate for lunch or what this person wore to work today. Talk to the person next to you. You might just fucking learn something. And if you think that you're in a spot in your life where things can't get worse and there's no way to go and you've kind of shut yourself out and that's why you don't want to talk or you don't want to interact with people because you feel like you have nothing to offer, let me tell you that you do. And this may sound cynical, but as bad as you think you have it right now, somebody else has it worse with a smile on their face. So that person who's got it worse might see you and make where you're at a goal. They want to get to where you're at. Don't project your negativity. Project positivity. Every single step you've taken in your life, every seemingly insignificant, minuscule event, occurrence, experience is directly responsible for exactly where you're at this very moment. And, you know, you'll hear people say, "Oh, if I could go back and change this, I would do this differently." No. I wouldn't change anything. If I had the opportunity to start this life over from day one, I would want it to play out the exact same way. Because although I had some difficult times and I walked down some long, dark roads, those long, dark roads and those difficult times are responsible for where I'm at right now. And I have a good life right now. I like where I'm at. And if you are listening to this and you're not content with where you're at and you're not happy and you're not satisfied, change something. Do something different. Use that feeling as motivation. Don't use it as an excuse. Make something good happen. You have the power to do that. There's no such thing as striving for greatness. You already are. You just have to open it up. You have to find your niche. You got to make nobody's going to do it for you. Reach out and grab it. Bring it in. You can do it all by yourself. You don't need all these advantages and all these different things. You know, just go ahead and get it. It's there. It's there for the taking. Reach out and take it.